Yes. Did you find the information I asked you for?
Sure did.
Good, but I need you to write it down so I don't forget. Thank you. Let me do some calculations to see if this is correct. Eureka! If there's one thing I like in a young person, it's ingenuity. Now, I've got work to do. Time to stir the cauldron and stoke the fire. But if you'd like to talk, I'll be holding office hours in the lobby between 3 and 6 a.m. Meet me then.
Hello?
Ned, it's me.
Well, you're a sound for sore ears. Bess called me and told me your vacation is rapidly turning into another mystery. So what's the latest?
I think whatever's going on around here must have something to do with the castle's history and the tower that Ezra Wickford imported from France.
What do you mean?
It's just a hunch. I'll know more once I find my way into the tower. What's going on with you?
The usual. Just buried in books over here.
Apparently, this castle's tower used to be a hangout for Marie Antoinette.
Who's that? Ezra Wickford's wife?
Are you kidding? Marie Antoinette was a famous queen of France.
And she used to hang out in Wisconsin?
No, silly. The tower was originally part of the Chateau Rochemont in France. Ezra Wickford fell in love with the tower and imported it to Wisconsin.
And Marie didn't want to come along.
Well, that would have been pretty tough for her, considering... Ned Nickerson, are you pulling my leg?
What do you mean, Nancy?
You know very well that Marie Antoinette was beheaded in 1793, don't you?
Well, yeah. I guess I read something about that when I studied the French Revolution. But when did Wickford show up?
He didn't discover the tower until the 1920s, over 100 years after Marie's death.
Whew! I think I'm all clear now. Thanks for straightening that out for me, Detective.
You are some pain in the neck, pal.
Good thing I'm so cute.
Bye, Ned.
Go get him, Nancy.
Nancy, dear, welcome to the witching hour. Isn't it marvelous to be up and about when others are sound asleep? I find my brain waves are at their most powerful during this time.
Yes, this big old place does feel quiet at this hour. But do you think everyone is really asleep? I mean, if this is the only time you're away from your room, when else could you have been robbed?
You're right on that. This is the only time that someone could break into my room. But why are you so interested in this robbery anyway?
I'm thinking this robbery and the library vandalism might be linked somehow. If you told me what was taken from you, maybe I could put the pieces together.
I'd like to tell you more about the robbery, but I'm afraid it just wouldn't be good for my blood pressure. I'm traumatized, you see, because the stolen item was a keepsake from a dear friend, and it was a cornerstone of my theory. I'm sure you understand.
Have you checked your room for clues? Usually the thief leaves some sort of evidence behind.
Clues, you say? I guess I haven't really looked. Oh, I've been utterly embroiled in my work.
Why are you conducting research here at the castle?
Well, you probably know by now that I'm a scholar of French history. My specialty is Marie Antoinette. Oh, poor Marie, the most misunderstood queen of the 18th century. Marie used to visit the very tower that now belongs to this castle. I'm convinced that this place holds evidence that will forever change the way the world views Marie. But the walls have ears, so I'd rather not say any more right now. Oh, if you're really interested, why don't you go up to my room and have a look around yourself? You've been such a great help to me, almost like an apprentice. Oh, I've always wanted an apprentice.
Wow, Professor, that's really generous of you. I'd love to learn more about your work, but are you sure you don't mind?
I insist! Your mind is like a ravenous monkey gobbling up every banana in its path. Oh, how can I stand in the way? Here's my extra pass key. I get back to work at 6 a.m. sharp, so just make sure you vacate the premises by 5:59. And put things back where you find them. It's all scientifically organized in there.
I found something that I think you'll be very interested in. It seems to be some kind of journal. I think it was written by Marie Antoinette herself.
What? Let me see that. This is it. I've been trying to track this down for 15 years. Where on earth did you find it?
Well, it's a long story, but I happened to find a way into the Queen's Tower, where I happened to find a secret compartment. I think this must be what the vandal was after.
Nancy, I must warn you. I'll wrestle you for this if I have to, and it won't be pretty.
I'm sure physical combat won't be necessary, Professor. I'm glad to help you with your work, but I need your assistance in return. You're fluent in French, aren't you?
Absolutely. I'll get to work on it right away. I'll have the translation ready in my room for you this time tomorrow. Until then, I mustn't be disturbed.
It's locked.
Testing. Can anyone hear me? Hotch kiss to Earth. Come in, Earth. Oh, okay. I think we're rolling. Now, let's get a look at these hallways. So rich in detail. You'd never know this place was built in 1920. It's all so 18th C. Oh, and there's Marie. I feel so close to her, just being here. It's as if her spirit is in the air, sweet as the smell of fried chicken. Hello, my fellow night owl. Or perhaps I should say hoot hoot. Ooh. Did you find anything of interest in my room?
I did pop in there, though interesting doesn't begin to describe the place. Would you mind if I went back another time?
Of course not. Pop in all you like, just not when I'm working.
I saw a letter on your desk from your friend, the Baroness von Hanseldorf. And I'm just wondering, did the medallion she gave you have a blue stone in it by any chance?
Heavens, no! Where did you hear such a thing? My medallion had a green stone in it. Anything else would be a mere imposter, a flaming faker, do you hear me?
Do you know anything about a tiara that was given to Marie Antoinette?
The infamous tiara, of course! Oh, people thought Marie had this extravagant piece commissioned for herself, and they hated her for it. But really, it was her husband, King Louis XVI, who had it made for her birthday. Oh, she didn't want it, refused to wear it, and then, a few months before the revolution broke out, the tiara disappeared.
What do you mean it disappeared?
It was never found. There were rumors that she had it destroyed, but no one has ever been able to prove this.
What did you mean when you said Marie Antoinette was misunderstood?
Everyone thought Marie did nothing but spend France's money on jewels and fancy soap for herself, while her people were starving. History books have upheld the myth that she was just a spoiled and heartless brat, but I don't believe it.
What do you believe?
I believe that she's been the victim of vicious rumors and lazy historians for too long, and that if the real story could be told, people would realize that Marie Antoinette was actually a good woman who wanted to help her people but didn't know how.
What do you think of Lisa Ostrom?
That Leslie, yes, oh, a real dynamo, but... I told Chester that I would not require any maid service during my stay. I don't know why she didn't get the message.
See you soon.
Right-o! I'm so glad you stopped by. I've translated the entire journal. It's fabulous! And as an added bonus, it includes Marie's official decoder, something no one else has ever found before.
See you soon.
Goodbye. Oh, what's this? It appears to be some kind of peephole. But what, pray, does it peep upon? Shall I peep? La la! I do believe I'll peep! The beauty, the colors. So this is what Helga told me to look for. Where's my medallion? It fits! Note to self, high five Team Hotchkiss. And what's this? A message? Eureka! It says the diamond...
I think I see what the symbols in the stained glass mean now. Let's see. Purple rose, whole diamond, key of queen. But where have I seen a purple rose? And what's a diamond key? It's locked. It's locked. It's locked. I need something to pry these tiles off. Looks like a keyhole of some sorts. Looks like a keyhole of some sorts. The diamond!
Whoa! Will you look at that sparkly rock? And me without my sunglasses.
Hi, Lisa. How did you get in here?
I followed you, of course. Turns out a nosy, goody-two-shoes detective is good to have around after all. Now why don't you toss me that big honkin' diamond so I can blow this popsicle stand and never set foot in lame-o, Wisconsin again?
Lisa, you must be kidding me. This diamond belongs in a museum in France.
Yeah? Well, I belong in the lap of luxury, and that diamond's gonna get me there. Hasn't anybody ever told you to mind your own business?
Oh, many times.
Well, maybe this time you'll learn.
My eyes!
Don't worry. My spicy devil villain venom won't last for long. But I'm afraid by the time you get your eyes back, you'll have missed my grand exit.
Are you the one who conked me on the head in the locker room?
Ouch. I bet that hurt. But I had to get the medallion somehow, didn't I? I hope we can still be friends.
Why did you leave Jacques' medallion at Hotchkiss's room? And Hotchkiss's medallion out in the shed?
To spread suspicion around, of course. You know, to play with your mind. Plus, I was at a dead end. I got the 2 messages from the stained glass window, but then what? I knew you would figure it out, so I decided to put the medallions in your hands and let you lead the way.
Why are you doing this?
Haven't you heard? It's a material world, sister, and I am a material girl. Photojournalism pays peanuts, you know, and who wants to work for a living anyway? I was made for a tropical climate, lounge chairs and cabana boys.
Why did you have to vandalize that beautiful library?
Just a little translation mix-up. When I read the message from Hotchkiss's medallion, I thought it meant Diamond of Misery in the library. Whoops! Guess I went a little overboard looking for it in there. Anyway, enough with the questions, Nancy. You'll just have to read the rest in the papers.
I've got to stop her.
Ah! Help! Get me out of here! It stinks down here. It's all moldy. Darn you, Nancy Drew. You're the worst friend a diamond thief could ever have.
Dear Dad, to think I almost became friends with a diamond thief. Everyone at Wickford Castle is resting easier now that Marie Antoinette's journal and her famous diamond are safe and sound. The journal, the diamond, and the medallions are all going to be featured in a new Marie Antoinette exhibit in Paris, and it looks like everyone will be rewarded. Except Lisa, of course. First, she missed her plane to Rio, and now she's going to be charged with attempted grand theft. Professor Hotchkiss is thrilled because the French government has granted her permission to publish Marie's journal in the U.S. before it gets returned to France. This ought to help prove her theory about Marie's character once and for all. Thanks to Jacques and his great-grandfather's efforts to find the journal, the Brunet name is being celebrated all over France. In the meantime, Jacques and Isabel have eloped. It's so romantic. I showed Dexter the poem that Ezra Wickford wrote him, and he was relieved to know that his old pop didn't carry any hard feelings to his grave. All the talk shows want Dexter to tell his story on national television, but he keeps turning them down. I guess he doesn't want to be famous or infamous. But when Christy Lane called and asked Dexter to be her business partner, he accepted. With her business sense and Dexter's expert knowledge of the castle, I think they'll make a great team. So, you know what they say, Dad? Il n'est jamais trop tard de changer l'histoire. It's never too late to change history. Me, I'm determined to go out and enjoy this snow before some other case comes up. See you soon. Love, Nancy.